All right, hell yeah. So we're working on picking out the fundamentals just a lot faster. We're trying to attain this wave over here, and we do a shoulder spin. And hell yeah, oh, this is perfect. So we do a shoulder spin to a kind of a back surf stall. And because we're already over here and we're on the high side, it just sets us up, to kind of ride this in a smile. So that's kind of the smiley face part of the wave and the pile, and that's kind of the easiest thing we can do. Now I try to attain it again, but this time I don't go over to this shoulder. I'm going to do a pile spin. And so this time it actually spun real good. And I know that, and I don't have anything in my playbook to be like, what do we do now? But I do go to the front just so it doesn't bite as much, and I can have this kind of surf in. We do get pushed, but now I'm just ready to sit down. So let's take a look at that all the way through. And so I go to the front, and then I just sit back down. Luckily, I'm able to actually catch this again, but we can work on that. So what I think, and let's go all the way back to, okay, so hell yeah, let's do that whole thing again. So we're going to attain this wave. We're going to do a shoulder spin. It's not going to go all the way around, so we're going to work on that high side and then work it all the way to there. So now we're going to spin it around, and we're going to go set up for our spin. We're going to go right into the pile, go forward, and then we sit back. And so I think what we can do is when we go forward, once we're ready to, come back into the trough, definitely shift my weight back, and even just, focus on doing these things backwards, because sometimes there's not enough time, or the intuition is set where it's not enough time to switch around. But hell yeah. But there's nothing worse than getting pieced out just because of the teeter-totter effect. And so that's one thing that I can improve upon. I know I don't want this to bite, so go that direction is good. But then move my way back to the trough of the wave. All right, hell yeah. We'll see what we do next. But we are able to, kind of set this up again. And hell yeah. Just an underspun going up against that pile. Hell yeah. And this is one that I could try to do on repeat. It might be very difficult, but sometimes right next to these piles is just like a perfect pocket. So like right where I am, the boat, and this is what I'm talking about for R1 design. I am on this corner, and look at that. 3/4 of the boat is completely out of the water based on, kind of the design of this boat being fully rockered underneath. And then so when we sweep it around, like what do we need to do here? Because it might not be intuitive to me. We might actually want to stay put, because if I go right here, maybe it's actually driving too much in. I mean, there's the fundamental of jumping to the diagonal. So we're going to sweep this around. We know it's going to bite too much. But where is it biting? See, the bite is right there, and we want to be away from it. If I did jump to that corner, then this momentum is going to push through my mass as well. I want to be really far away from this and over here. This is the lighter part of the boat, and it's going to get swung back in. And that just purls all over the place. It bites there, and then it bites right here. So that's a tough one, but it just seems like, and it's up against this pile. It seems like a good thing, where you're just spinning up against the pile, and you're over rotating. But maybe if I'm over rotating, I can jump to the side surf. So there you go. So this will be a good one for me to actually go up against this pile, do an over rotation, and then just jump instantly. This is the time to actually jump instantly to that side and do and then even closer to the front, because if I am doing a spin, this portion right here, and then, because that's what also in R1 design, I want to be able to jump right here and keep this from purling, because the boat would be kind of a dual edge, kind of a V shape. So if I am over onto that tube, this would be up out of the water. And so it's just spatially, I'm not aware that when I do spin off this, the wave's over there. So I'm doing a pile spin, and the wave is just way over there. And so I'm just jumping to the wrong location. I actually need to be, weirdly enough, I need to be jumping right where this is biting. And I think from an R1 design perspective, yeah, see, especially right off the bow. And that's fascinating. People, I don't know if everybody agrees with the dynamics, but I see a window of opportunity right here that this bow, for sure you want to be a rocker, a highly V-shaped surface. And my boat is kind of a V shape underneath because the floor protrudes, lower. And so it makes kind of these corners. We talked about it going in right here, that if I'm on this edge, 3/4 of the boat is unleashed. And then so if I go over to that edge right there, and then let's see where, because even like right here, this portion of the boat, so if I'm over here, look at that, all that portion is up out of the water. And so if I was jumped to that corner, hopefully that wouldn't bite. Even as it's rolling. I think that's a difficult place to jump, but doing this pile turn and then jumping for that corner. After it does a over rotation, sitting back onto that corner. I don't even know how to sit back onto that corner. I think it's just, I don't even have to do a body, I don't even have to rotate my body around. I just need to scoot over. So it's just a jump to that other side. I could switch my paddle up, but you don't even need to when you just put your weight onto those edges, and that would I think that would hold that side surf too. So all right, hell yeah. So that's that, and then we can watch this I guess 2 more times, see if I have any final thoughts, and then you can watch it with the river noise. Booyah. But hell yeah, going over there, doing a under rotated turn, but that helps because now I'm just on the high side. And now I'm going to set it up, and then I'm going to do a pile turn. That one works real nice. It's plenty rotated. And then do that little switcheroo. Here I'm going to do the pile turn. No, that turn is just under rotated, so that always works. And now I'm going to go for the pile turn. And this is where we kind of get trying to do something. Hell yeah.